Hundreds of people gathered in Bangor yesterday for a celebration of life for Maine game warden Joshua Tibbitz.
That's right. Tibbitz died in a plane crash in the town of Avon last week. During the service, several of his co-workers spoke about his dedication to the Maine Warden service, highlighting his bravery, but also his ability to bring positivity to any situation. Multiple family members also spoke about his selflessness and dedication to family. His daughter says that she will miss everyday experiences with her dad.
Some of my favorite memories are also the ordinary ones. Going to the movies, going out to dinner, taking walks, skiing together, listening to Dad tell us about some important moment in history or a life lesson he thought we needed to know. Sometimes we rolled our eyes when he turned a random conversation into a history lesson. But now I know these moments were his way of teaching us, connecting with us, and preparing us for life.
After the service, there was a flyover with bagpipes and an American flag was folded and brought to the family. Joshua Tibbitz was 50 years old.
And a memorial service for Maine's first Black legislator was also held yesterday in Portland.
Family members of the public and lawmakers such as Governor Mills gathered to remember the life of Gerald Talbet. He died earlier this month. Talbet is remembered for pioneering civil rights efforts in Maine. During the service, Talbot's grandson, Walter Phillips, spoke of the legacy his grandfather has left.
My son got to cut the ribbon at the school my son attended that was named in his grandfather's honor. And he got to go through that school the entire time. The entire time he went to school, he went to the Gerald E. Talbet School.
Talbot's decades of public service included work on civil rights legislation, fair housing protections, and efforts to remove racist language from place names across Maine. He also introduced early gay rights legislation back in 1977. Gerald Talbet was 94.
The Trump administration's efforts to obtain Maine's voter registration lists has been blocked.
Yeah, Maine's chief federal judge has dismissed a lawsuit by the U.S. Department of Justice trying to force the state to turn over those lists. The lawsuit claimed the state was violating federal election laws by refusing to do so. Secretary of State Shenna Bellows says those lists included sensitive information, including birth dates, partial Social Security numbers, and driver's license numbers. Yesterday, Judge Lance Walker granted Maine's request to dismiss the lawsuit. In his dismissal, Judge Walker said, quote, "The United States requests would require me to turn a blind eye to traditional practices of federalism and how those expressions have found expression in American elections." Walker is a Trump-appointed judge whom Bellows called a straight shooter.
He said specifically that the states are the regulators and administrators of federal elections. Only Congress can change that. And even Congress is limited by the Constitution because our founders understood that under the Constitution, the states should be in charge of elections to safeguard against tyranny by the executive branch.
In all, the Justice Department has requested voter and election data from at least 15 states. Maine is one of 8 states where lawsuits regarding those efforts have been dismissed. Maine's Chief Deputy Secretary of State is recommending a referendum question not appear on the November ballot after all.
Yeah, the question would ask voters if they want to ban transgender athletes from competing in sports and using facilities that align with their gender identity. The new recommendation follows a Superior Court judge asking the Secretary of State's office to review a challenge to the petition. Chief Deputy Secretary of State Catherine McBride says that the group that petitioned for the ballot question submitted more than 12,000 invalid signatures. McBride says photo and video evidence shows some petitions left unattended and nearly 2,000 signatures are duplicates. The decision also states that any party may file an objection with Secretary of State Shenna Bellows. Those objections must be submitted by email before Sunday. Bellows is expected to make a decision on the ruling on Tuesday.
The state is upholding its decision to suspend payments to Gateway Community Services, a Maine care provider for people with disabilities. Gateway is accused of falsifying billing records and overbilling the Department of Health and Human Services by $1.7 million between 2017 and 2022. Gateway appealed that finding. It now has less than 60 days to request a hearing for its appeal to continue.
And the state of Maine could soon change its licensing process for scallop fishers. A proposed change to existing rules would require divers who receive a license through the lottery to complete an apprenticeship program. There will be a public hearing on this change on June 10th in Augusta. You have until June 22nd to submit comments.